Now, because I'm a Scorpion, that's the theme. And I don't mean your star sign. I'm a Libra and Taurus. Let me tell you, does anyone know the story of the Scorpion and the Frog? Silly story, but great metaphor. One day, the Scorpion comes to the lake, and he wants to get to the opposite side. And he sees a frog just laying there, swimming around in the water. And the Scorpion says to the frog, he says, "Hey, Mr. Froggy, do me a favor. Can I get on your back and get to the opposite side?" And the froggy says, "I beg your pardon." He says, "Mate, can you give me a lift on your back and get me to the opposite side?" The froggy says, "No, sorry, I can't do that." And the Scorpion goes, "Why not?" He says, "Because you're a scorpion. And scorpions sting frogs." He goes, "No, don't be silly. You're losing your little froggy mind there. Why would I do that? If I'm on your back and I sting you, you'll drown, I'll drown, and I'll kill myself." And the froggy says, "That's the point there." He says, "Listen, just give me a lift, get me across, and I'll be very grateful. You do me a favor, I'll do you a favor one day." Froggy thinks about it. He says, "Honestly, I need to get across there. I'm not going to hurt you. Otherwise, I'll be hurting myself. Why would I do that, Froggy?" Scorpion says, "Okay, then, hop on board." The froggy allows the Scorpion to get on board. They get halfway, and sure enough, what does the Scorpion do? Stabs the froggy in his back, stabs him 3 times. The froggy starts drowning, and on the 3rd time, the froggy looks at the Scorpion and says, "Why did you do that? Why? Why did you do that?" And the Scorpion says, "Because I'm a scorpion, and that's what scorpions do. We sting frogs." Now, what was the point of that story? The story is we will never deviate, ever. You will never, ever, ever deviate from who you believe you are. Never. So, that's what today's session is. It's about who are you? Who do you believe you are? Because the results in your life, the results in your trading are a direct reflection of who you believe you are at your core being. Now, in the early 70s, there was a man called Maxwell Maltz. Many of you have read this book. I know this. He wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Maxwell Maltz did some fantastic plastic surgery on people. And he discovered he could change somebody's face. And by changing their appearance on the outside, it would change how they would feel about themselves on the inside. Sometimes you wouldn't even have to do the plastic surgery. You just redefine what things meant. So somebody would have a scar on their face, and you would tell them, redefine what having a scar meant. It was like an act of bravery, or as a hero, or like this masculine trait. And suddenly they felt completely different about it. But he also discovered that did the plastic surgery. It generally took people 21 days to accept the change. 21 days. It takes 21 days for someone to go to a new school and feel like it's their school. It takes 21 days for you to move into a house and to feel like you're home. So Maxwell Maltz would do this plastic surgery and change people's faces, and they'd feel completely different, and it would change their lives. But he did notice the following. There were some people who he would change on the outside, but yet they would not see any difference. And even though there was a dramatic difference in maybe their nose or their mouth or their lips or their cheeks or their eyes or their forehead, something they didn't like, they couldn't see it. So Maxwell Maltz would say, he would try and tell them that it was different. And they go, "Yeah, I know it's different, but it looks the same." And he concluded that these people were scarred on the inside. So what he would then do was he would do a series of exercises with them. And you'd make them how they perceive themselves. Because even though the nose may have been smaller, in their mind, they would still see themselves with a big nose. So he would change how they saw their nose in their mind, and slowly but surely, it would completely change how they felt about themselves, which would change who they thought they were. And then he discovered he didn't have to do plastic surgery on everybody. He could just take people and change their blueprint, their psychological blueprint in their mind, which was the problem. And without doing any plastic surgery, he had the same dramatic results that he did the plastic surgery on. Now, so who you think you are is going to have a dramatic effect on the results that you create in your life. I know, I used to see people, and I don't know how many of you guys smoke or don't smoke, or used to smoke, but I know this. You know, if someone used to smoke and they no longer smoke, sometimes some of those people that used to smoke that no longer smoke are like more anti-cigarettes than someone that's never smoked. Do you mind? You're violating my space. That's rude. Don't smoke anywhere near me. Right? It's almost like they've got something to prove. But if you offer them a cigarette, they'll go, no, thank you. I'm not that kind of person. Right? They literally divorce themselves from that identity. Now, I've often met people who say, I haven't smoked for 10 weeks. Now, when somebody says they haven't smoked for 10 weeks, why are they saying it in terms of time? Do you know why? It's because in their mind, they still think of themselves as a smoker who hasn't smoked. Thus, they are saying, I will smoke again in the future. Does that make sense? And does everybody follow what I'm saying? Great. Now, people will do this with food. Oh, I haven't eaten a sweet or a cake in 4 weeks, or chocolate in 5 weeks. That's often me. I haven't eaten a biscuit in 4 days. I know when I say that sentence that it's not long before I eat those cake or those chocolates or those biscuits. Why? Because in my mind, that's who I am. I'm a cake lover. I'm a person with a sweet tooth, right? Now that identity, I am going to live up to that. You will not deviate from who you believe you are. Not at all, I'm sorry to say. Here's what most people do in their lives, right? They think, I would like to have, and we'll say this in terms of money, okay? Think, I would like to have £1 million. So what I'm going to do is buy property. I'm going to do the stock market. I'm going to set up a business. I'm going to buy commodities. I'm going to save my money, okay? Those are the main asset classes. And they think if they do that, they will become a millionaire. But unfortunately, that is not how it works. Because, as I said, you will not get anything in this world what you want. You will only get more of who you believe you are. You will only, if you think you are a poor person, right? I don't care what you do, you will act consistently with that identity. Because one of the strongest forces within the human mind and body is to remain consistent with who we believe we are. Why? Because we live in a world, a culture, a society, right, where we are rewarded for being consistent with who we believe we are. So if you say you're this kind of person and then you act inconsistent with that, what happens? People get angry, people get mad with you, right? So people that get angry say, oh, why didn't you tell me that kind of person? I didn't know you were that kind of person. We associate pain with that. You can't, if you start saying, I'm a reliable person, and you believe you're a reliable person, you will act consistently with that to confirm to yourself. Because we all need a sense of certainty about something. And we all spoke about this, about certainty. We need to know who we are. If we didn't know who we are, we wouldn't know how to distinguish ourselves from somebody else. So we give ourselves labels, and we will act consistently with those labels so we know who we are. You're not going to get anything that you want. You're only going to get more of who you are. You're going to act consistently with who you believe you are. So by labeling yourself, you're condemning yourself or empowering yourselves. So it depends upon what your point of doing it. So the truth of the matter is, it's not how I'm going to have this. You first have to think, who do I need to be so that I do these things consistent to have the result that I want? Now, many of you have got, well, in fact, I'll tell you this now. The results that you have in your trading, the results that you have in your health, the results that you have in your relationships, your friendships, the results and the outcomes that you have in your social life, okay, are a direct mirror image of who you believe you are. Change who you think you are, and you will do completely different things, right? Because people think, oh no, don't you have to have the thing first and then you become that person? No, there's a famous saying, if you want to become a millionaire, first you better become one in your mind so you get to keep the money. because that's the irony of it, right? In fact, I'll say this to you. I once, right, there's a friend of mine, that's me, that's Tracy, I forgot her name. She presents, she's an actress. She's quite famous, actually, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, Tracy, I apologise if you ever get to see this. When I was a student at university, and my friends both wanted to be TV presenters, the day I finished university, I said I was a light entertainment TV presenter. I think you call them, what do you call them, TV hosts in the United States? What do you call them in the United States? Host, yeah? Okay. Presenter. I was doing comedy entertainment type of stuff. And my friend Miles, he says, he was a graphics designer. And he says, I'm a graphics designer, but one day I'm going to be a TV presenter. And I'll tell you this now, Miles had more talent, more capability, more skill than I did. In fact, he wanted to be the presenter more than I did. In fact, he put the idea, along with a so-called girlfriend of mine, put the idea in my head, and I thought, God, I'm going to do that. And the day I finished university, I printed out some business cards. I've told many of you this story before. And it said, Patrick Stockhausen, light entertainment TV presenter. And people would say to me, what do you do? And I'd say, I'm a TV presenter. And I made this show reel. And in essence, what I'm telling you right now is exactly the secret to the essence of everything I'm going to say to you. I had a show reel. And a show reel, for actors and presenters, is like a video. It was a video in those days of me doing work, and I literally recorded it, went into a studio and on the street and all sorts of situations and scenarios. I'm recording myself presenting. So I would watch this video every single day. Every day I would see this video of me presenting. And I'd see it, play, surprise, surprise, put the video on. Where are you seeing yourself presenting? On the television. So I'd see myself presenting on the television, this 10-minute show reel, this 5-minute show reel. And I would see it, and I'd say to myself, I'm a TV presenter, and I'd see it. And I would then believe that. I then believed that's who I am. That's who I am, a TV presenter. I then went to television production companies, gave them my show reel, and they says, I'm Patrick Stockhausen, I'm a light entertainment TV presenter. Here's my show reel. I then got an agent, and in no time at all, I was presenting on the television. I think it was, they say 1 in 10,000 people who want to be a TV presenter / host will make it. And I just thought, well, I guess I'm that one. And somebody said to me, well, you can't, it doesn't work that way. And I says, well, you should have told me that before, because I've already decided I'm that one. And in less than a year, I was presenting on the television. Miles, the graphic designer, who will one day be a TV presenter, guess what Miles is still doing? It's design, absolutely. Because one day he'll be a TV presenter. No, I was a TV presenter. Now, notice what I just said, the word was. I tell you this, the day I stopped seeing myself as a TV presenter, guess what happened? The work dried up. It disappeared. I stopped doing it. I stopped seeing myself as a TV presenter. Something happened in television that I didn't enjoy, and it went from I'm a TV presenter to I present. So it went from an identity to a behavior. I present on television. So it no longer was who I was. It was just this thing that I could do. And then it went like, I used to be a TV presenter. So it now became something that I used to do in the past. And then I started people saying, what do you do? And I used to go, I do this now. I was learning psychology at the time when I was presenting. Somehow I started saying I'm a neurolinguistic programmer. And I used to present on the television. This thing was going further and further into the past. I stopped doing it. One day I decided, I thought, I would like to present on the television again. I then sent off some show reels, some information to my agent, etc. And I thought, I'm going to try and make it in TV again. Even the word try. And somebody asked me, what do I do? And I said, I'm a neurolinguistic programmer and I used to present on the television. Did I present on the television again? No, I didn't. Because I wasn't a TV presenter. I used to be. I'm a neurolinguistic programmer. And guess what I started doing? Neurolinguistic programming. I was programming people. So, who you believe you are is going to determine the results that you get. The formula is, I'll say it again, let me go this. It's be. So you do the things consistently so you can have the results that you want. Now, here today, gone tomorrow. How long can you hold on to your money? Thus, The National Lottery in the UK, I think you guys call it lottery or something like that, in the United States. That is why so many lottery winners lose their money within a very short amount of time. Why? Because they see themselves be, who are they? Poor, right? Or not necessarily rich. Most of the people that win lottery aren't rich. They see themselves as poor. And so what do? But most people think, oh, I would like to be rich. I'm going to do what I think rich people do so I can have that result. So I can be that type of person, right? But they don't. They end up doing the wrong things. Why? Because they'll do what's consistent with their identity. They'll end up going, oh, I'm going to buy that. They win $1 million. They're going to buy that house. I'm going to buy that car. I'm going to buy that. I'll go out with my friends and my family. I'm going to lead this rich lifestyle. And guess what? They're not doing anything what rich people do. They're doing what they think rich people do. They're actually, in theory, doing what poor people do to lose money. So changing their perception of who they are would have had a dramatic effect on their results that they would have achieved. But in the same way, Donald Trump came back from -3, I don't know how many billion it was, but it was quite a few billion. And in 3 years, he had the money and it was back. Why? Because in Donald Trump's mind, who is he? A billionaire. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He's a property developer. Does that make sense? Well, it does make sense, but does that make sense to you guys? So, here's the thing. Your current level of thinking of who you think you are has got you to where you currently are. And it's not the level of thinking that's going to get you to where you want to be. Right? I like that. There's a guy called Larry Wingate. I don't know if you guys have seen him. I've seen him on the internet. I think he's very good. You're broke because you want to be. Now, if you're broke, I'm telling you now, it has a hell of a lot to do with your perception of who you think you are and your beliefs and your values, which are things that we'll go into. So you're going to need to change how you perceive yourself in order to be rich or successful in your trading or have a better health or more fun in your life and do all the things or have a better relationship.